The Color of Your Eyes, written by Blackcatsassin, read by gutterratt1213, Chapter 34, Poke.
No, babe, I told you I will be home soon.
Poke frantically explained to the person on his phone, but no matter what, his panicked fiancée just wouldn't calm down.
I told you I had very important work I needed to do. No, babe, it has nothing to do with that tattooed man. Yes, I know he gives you the creeps, babe. I will be home soon, I promise you. I even have money for some extra diapers. Yes, babe, I promise. Love you too.
He scratched the back of his head, asking himself for the 100th time since yesterday what kind of situation he had gotten himself into. Not only had he accepted another mission from Mike, even though his fiancée was adamant that he stop any ties with that criminal, but he ended up kidnapping a young woman. He personally had nothing against Emilia Clarkson. He was only a little pissed when he found a message from her to Jake talking about how stupid he was when he was looking for the hacker's phone number. Since he couldn't find his number, he went along with Mike's second demand to place the phone somewhere hidden in the bushes, knowing that the only person who would find the phone would be the hacker himself.
I should have listened to my fiancée,
Poke whispered, recalling how Leah looked at him when he left her alone with Mike. He heard some rustling close to him, and that sound made him jump a little. Since kidnapping Leah, he had been filled with fear and paranoia, imagining the police jumping out of nowhere to capture him. He kept reminding himself that he had no choice. When he told Mike he wanted to quit working for him, Mike threatened to beat the soul out of him if he did not comply, making his fiancée and newborn baby potentially homeless since he was the only breadwinner. He would not even accept a cent from Mike if he had a choice. All he ever wanted was to earn some extra cash for milk and diapers. Why did inflation have to happen right before the birth of his daughter? He heard another rustle. This time Poke stopped in his tracks, and he looked around. How ironic it was that he was now close to the spot where he had to overpower Leah and subdue her with chloroform. It was 6 a.m, but still relatively dark. He was alone near the park, and the faint light from the street lamps wasn't much comfort for Poke.
Hello?
He asked in a fearful tone. Nothing. Maybe his paranoia is now causing him to hear all kinds of sounds. He once read somewhere that fear can make people hear things that don't exist, a trick of the mind, and so on. Poke looked around one more time before he continued on his walk, heading in the direction of his home. Suddenly he heard footsteps running behind him, and before he could turn around, his head was hit by something very hard. This must be my karma, he thought before losing consciousness. Is he dead? Poke heard a female voice as he slowly gained his awareness back. He could feel his hands tied together. He still kept his eyes closed, hoping those around him wouldn't find out that he was awake. His mouth was stuffed with a piece of cloth.
No, just knocked out. We have to make sure the knots are tight. The last thing we need is for him to escape. No need to give me tips on how to take care of rough guys, Thomas. I know how to handle all sorts of people. Working at a bar gives you the privilege to gain all sorts of experience.
Give me that bat. I will show him what he gets for working for that scum who kidnapped Leah.
Whoa, watch out. We only need to talk with him, not murder him. Oh, not yet, at least.
Poke felt a sudden dread. His forehead started to sweat.
This might get ugly. Thomas, get out and just watch the entrance. Stop acting like I'm a wimp. I can help and I can handle this,
the other guy protested.
But you are. Even Dan said so.
The first male snorted.
And what are you gonna do? Smash his legs with the bat? I have my ways.
Suddenly, the person was now poking Poke with the bat. Guys, I think he's awake, the female voice spoke as she examined Poke.
Good, then let's continue our plan.
The cloth that was stuck in his mouth got pulled away, and Poke opened his eyes, knowing that he could not pretend any longer.
Good morning.
A guy with long black hair, and another guy wearing a beanie, and a red-haired girl were all glaring or staring at him. Poke didn't give much attention to the other two as he looked at the guy with the long hair, who had a bat resting on his shoulder.